start recording. Unless we haven't started. Let me just check. Have we started recording yet?
I
Anyone on my team?
recorded.
You did. Okay, thank you. I didn't. I usually hear the little recording. So if you, just a heads up, if you would not like to be recorded, please feel free to turn your camera off. We do record these and then we post them on our website, and I'll show you where that is in just a moment. But I wanted to start just by welcoming everybody today. Again, we know this is your time and it is the Thursday right before vacation. So it's a busy time. We really appreciate you coming. My name's Pamela Rabin. I am a coordinator in educational technology with the San Diego County Office of Education, and I'm here with my colleagues. I will let them introduce themselves.
Hi,
So,
everyone. I'm Carrie Lane. I am an EdTech project specialist with the EdTech team at SDCOE, and we are excited to share some AI productivity tools for you today.
Hi, everybody. My name is Alicia Gallegos Butters, and I'm here to support Carrie and Pam today.
thank you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And I don't have any videos or anything to show, so I think I'm going to be good here. And just a thumbs up if you can see my screen. I have 3 screens going, and they all just changed where they are. So you're looking at my slide deck, yes? Okay. If you missed the link, I also have the link written up here at the top, but this is an AI for teachers, for classroom teachers, really. We're going to be showing what are some of the, what I call the latest in teacher productivity tools. Some of them you might recognize, but they've had additions put onto them since maybe the last year or two. Others may be completely new for you. But the idea here was just to familiarize yourself with some of the tools that are out there and how they can help you support your students in terms of creating activities for them or creating content for them and being able to really differentiate just at the push of a button. So it's how is AI helping teachers in classrooms to just get more done and a little bit more quickly. I'm not saying that very well. All right. So before I start, just a shout out that we offer webinars often on a variety of subjects. If you're ever interested in what we're offering, you can always find it on our website under the area that we call the calendar of events. It looks like this, and I think it's actually called, let me come up here to our site. Our site is sdcoe.net, and you can do a /edtech as a shortcut to get there, all one word, edtech. And it's really actually the calendar of events. We're going to be changing that. It's the best one to go to is this one right here, the view events and resources. Click on that. And what it allows you to see are any of the events that we've had in the past, along with any resources that we have for them. So if you see slide deck or video, they're exactly what they say they are for that particular event. And then as you can see, we have our meeting today on here. Here it is. And we will have the video and the resources down below that if you ever need to find them or come back to them later. You can find out things that you can sign up for. In February, we have them going through now all the way to May listed in here. If they don't have links yet, they will be coming in soon. And then the last thing I want to give a shout out to is just we are going to have our Learning and Innovation Summit again August 23rd. So if you joined us for that this last August and you're interested in coming to that again, that will be on a Saturday, August 23rd, from about 8 o'clock to 3 p.m. And that is a conference that we put on where we try to bring together this year all of innovation. So we'll have EdTech represented, our DICE, which is really our data analysis team. We'll have our college and career ready folks that are putting on some things. And the people, the team that teaches at the Learning and Innovation Center that are bringing students in for RIASEC and world to work kind of career experiences. So all of innovation is involved with it this year, little change from last year. All right. So our agenda for today, we're going to be showing you the following tools. Carrie will be showing you Scribe, Canva in video, and then I'll be highlighting Diffit and QuestionWell. And then we also have a few tidbits for you around kind of apps that are put on kind of what we call the scary apps list, and I will explain that when we get there, and Carrie will help with that. And then we also show you our listing of productivity tools if you want to try out some other apps on your own, and then some discussions around things for students, things like that. All right, so would you take a moment, please, just to put your name, your district, and maybe one idea of what brought you here today into the chat for us. I'll give us about 30 seconds or so to do that. So I'm going to set my timer. And if you just take a look at the chat, we'll see who's in the room. My phone on. Thank you. There we go. Wonderful. Looks like we have a lot of people from all around the county today. Hi, Jen. Perfect. A lot of people who are just kind of curious to see what's happening. That's good. This is a great class for you. I love the people who are just open to exploring it. Yep. Thank you, Matt. Yeah, and as we go along, for each of the different productivity tools, we want to give you some hands-on time for that. Just kind of a few minutes, about 3 minutes or so, just to get your own hands on it and then kind of hear what you think about it. So during those times, we'll do what I just did, which is set our timer. We'll give you 3 minutes. We'll even say, hey, if you want to turn off your cameras and go what we call go dark for those 3 minutes, we'll let you know when we're done. You'll hear me start talking again. But during that hands-on time, I'll pause and I will not talk. And we'll let you try it, and then we'll come back and kind of take a minute or two to have people either discuss out in the chat, or you can unmute and when it's appropriate when we tell you to, and we'll talk. Okay. So that's the reflection and discussion part. So Carrie, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing, and I'm going to pass it to you. Carrie, again, is going to start with Scribe. And you're muted, Carrie.
Thank you, Pam. And everyone, I added the link one more time in the chat. Pam will be sharing it out if anyone needs it while I'm presenting. So the first thing that we wanted to share is a tool that is really useful for making job aids. And so a lot of times I feel as teachers, we end up creating job aids for our students on how to do something. It might be something that's really simple, such as creating a Google document from scratch or something like that. And so there is a really nice app. It's a free app that records you as you are making a job aid. And so I'm going to show you from just an open screen how it would work. So you go to the jigsaw puzzle piece, which is going to be your Chrome extensions. Of course, first, when we are done today, we have it linked in the Chrome store, so you can go into your Chrome store and add it as a Chrome extension. Once it's there, it's called Scribe, and it's an AI how-to documenter. And so with this, I'm going to turn on voice transcription so that as I talk, it recognizes what I'm saying and it will type it up. And as I do that, I'm going to hit start capture. And when I start to do things on the screen, it will capture them as well. So for example, I'm going to hit start capture. And then from there, okay. You'll see it says that it's now capturing my browser. So if I was teaching a student from here that I want them to go into Google and I want them to go to their drive and I want them to go to new, and then I want them to create a Google Doc, and they're going to title their Google Doc with their name and then the name of the project. You'll notice on the right side of the screen that it captures everything that I was doing, and it also captures what I was saying. And so just for the sake of promptness and quickness, I'm going to complete my capture. And while it's working, it takes a couple of seconds. I like to point out that this is something, at least when I was in the classroom, that, by taking screenshots, number one, you are crowding up your desktop or your downloads or wherever you are taking your screenshots to, but also you have the multiple steps of taking the screenshot of everything. You might have to highlight specific parts of it, and then you have to type things up, put them into your directions. So it's a really multiple step process. Whereas with this, after it takes a couple of minutes to complete your scribe, which usually it doesn't take this long, but once it completes your scribe, you basically have a how-to guide that you can share with students directly. And so you'll notice that it says all of the things. So it tells you what links to navigate to. It takes the screenshots for you. It has everything step by step. And you also have all of these other abilities. So you can add in your own step from here if you want to just add a section. You can export it to Google Drive. You can export it as a Google Doc. You can go ahead and share it, copy the link. So a lot of different options, and they just added pretty recently that opportunity to take that voice transcription. So now not only does it tell you step by step what it does, but it transcribes for you, which is something that's just been kind of a nice add-on. So wanted to show you that one. It's a pretty useful productivity tool. I'll pause for a second, look into the chat to see if there are any questions about that. Doesn't look like it. So I'll just give a minute. If anyone does have any questions, please feel free to unmute. Is it free? Yes. So it is a Chrome extension, and it is a free Chrome extension. There is a paid version. The paid version allows you to capture things from your desktop and to basically do anything within your computer as a how-to. This one that is free allows you to do anything that is on the Chrome browser. So as long as you are navigating through the Chrome browser, you'll be able to utilize this for free. Can you add images between steps? Yeah, so you can add steps and then you can recapture with your steps. You can also add GIFs in between. So there are lots of different types of contents that you can add to it. And of course, once you save it into your Google Drive or once you share it and save it as a PDF, you can also go back and adjust things that way. So it's really kind of flexible and easy. Do you have any idea the differences between Scribe and Tango? I don't. I am not familiar with Tango. Pam, are you familiar with Tango? No, so we haven't heard about that one. So is that another one that does very similar things? Okay, very cool. So I don't know the differences between that one, but I'll have to check that out now. And maybe when Pam is presenting, I'll look up some things for you all and put them into the chat to see what differences I see.
Yeah, I have to admit, I just put it in. So you'll see it up in my tabs when I start presenting again, because I was going to check that one out. Thank you. See, you come in, you learn new things every day.
Absolutely. Can you hear your voiceover? So as of right now, you don't actually hear it. It just types what you say. However, if you are comfortable, you can always add on like another Chrome extension, like a read aloud or something like that, or open something up in the immersive reader. There are lots of different ways that you can then hear your transcription, but as of now, it's just the written transcription. Yeah, and so at least for now, as Matt was saying, that the voice transcription is pretty new to this one, so maybe Tango will have that soon too, but yeah. Awesome questions, thank you. All right, what else? Any other questions before we switch on to our next tool?
Would it be helpful for us to show you one more time how she got to that app? If you'd like that, just put your thumbs up. I see a thumb up. I can't see everybody right at the moment. I'm seeing
One
hands.
thumb? Okay, yeah, and let me, I already have it added, but let me start from the beginning, which would be that you go to the Chrome Web Store. And so there is a link directly, but I am just going to type in Chrome Web Store. And from the Chrome Web Store, which I can share now in the chat, you type in the extension name, Scribe, and it's the little red one. It has the little S in white. And if you haven't added it already, you'll have Add to Chrome as a button here. I have it already, so it says Remove from Chrome. Once it goes through and it adds you in, then you will see it in that little jigsaw puzzle piece. And that's where you'll find Scribed. And then if you click on this, you may have to connect it to your Google account. And so you'll just say, allow, it to use my Google account, allow it to capture my screen, the usual types of allow. And once you've done that, then when you hit start capture and voice transcribe, you'll be able to do that for any of your tabs within the Chrome browser. Thank you, Pam, for sharing that. All right. With another quick poll, how many of you with a thumbs up or an emoji are using Canva for anything? Good amount of teachers usually are. I see a couple of hands for everything. Yep. Okay. So if you're using Canva, you may already be using this, but this is something that I find I'm using a lot recently, and it makes it pretty quick to generate images when you can't find one that you're looking for. So I'm going to just jump into Canva. And I have the free educator account. If you don't have it, I'm sure Pam can share it in the chat. And if she is unable to do that, I can do that after. But basically, as an educator, you can have access for free to a lot of the free tools within Canva. It's really great. And so with this, you have the general kind of makeup of Canva. This is the home screen. And whenever you go to create a design, and I'm just gonna pick, let's do a poster for now. You start with your blank screen, and usually you might look in elements and you might search for a picture. But perhaps you don't have, or you can't find the picture that you're looking for. The AI feature, one of the AI features, there are a lot of AI features that have been added onto Canva, but one of the AI features is called Magic Media. And so with this, it uses that same type of generative AI availability where you can type into it and it will generate pictures for you. And so, for example, I was trying to generate little profile pictures for a escape room that we were doing, and I wanted it to go with the profiles of the students. So I was able to just copy the profiles. So this student likes basketball, he likes to do photography, things like that. And I just copy things in, and then I say how I want it to look. Like I want it to look like a graphic poster, and it will give me lots of AI options. So I won't copy in the exact, but graphic poster of 13-year-old boy who plays basketball and likes photography. And this works great, like absolutely great for things like clip art as well. I really like the way that it generates clip art. And if you want it to look more realistic, you could say realistic poster. And once you find one that you like, it's just like with anything else in Canva, you just go ahead and add it in. So, okay, I like this picture. This picture looks realistic to me. A little bit of creepy eyes. AI sometimes does that, but that is part of why I generally tend to like clip art better. I think that with AI, there are always some little weird wonky things like the fact that he has 4 hands. So I might decide that I want to crop that out. But it is kind of a nice thing, for example, with we'll do multicolor raindrops. on elephant that is surfing. Super random. Yes, it does get lines wrong and three hands, the eyes are sometimes off. And so I really like this more when I'm doing some kind of clip art where I just want it to generate something pretty specific, but unique and cool, because then it doesn't have to be accurate. And AI does tend to have mistakes when you are doing realistic ones. But that's a really good example of something that I probably wouldn't find in Elements, but it looks pretty cool and it didn't take a lot of work on my end. And it's just easier to find and kind of create, or to create myself, than to try to look through and find one and then find one that you can use that, you know, is copyright free and things like that. So that's Canva Magic Media. And if you don't see it on yours, there are two ways that you can go about it. You can go into a design and then go to apps, and then you should be able to find the Magic Media button. This will help you to add that button in, and then from then on, it should be on the left side. Or you can actually just type in Canva Magic Media, and then it will allow you to then go into it and start a design. It says generate AI images, and from there it'll have you sign in, and then you can use that tool. And once you've done it once, it will be in there. Any questions on that one? Yeah, so that is a very good point. And I think a lot of the different AIs, and I know Pam knows quite a few of the art related ones, but a lot of the different AIs do have AI generators. The reason I use this one the most is just because I'm always using Canva anyway, and especially now that I have like the free educator version. But look through your AIs that you are using, and lots of them do have AI generators for images. And yeah, so Pam shared Padlet, ChatGPT, Adobe Express. So you have lots of options. And that is one nice thing about AI, is that at this point, there are many tools that can do the same or similar things. And it's a matter of finding which one works best for you and works with your district's policies and, you know, isn't blocked. So you have lots and lots of options. I haven't noticed on the free version of ChatGPT that it does, but that's another one. When I pause for a second, I will try to just make sure and check it out. I don't believe that it does, Jen, until you actually move it into another program. So like you might want to use something like a Snagit or something else with the PDF that you generate, or just copy the image and then go ahead and edit it that way in something else. But I think that when you're putting something into Scribe, it just allows you to have what it has, and then you can add in new things. But I don't think you can actually edit the image itself without using an external program. All right, great questions again. So the last one that I'm going to be sharing, and then I'll do some follow-up in the chat with your questions, is that we have this one. It's called InVideo AI, and there are a couple out there as well that will create a video based on your prompts or your text or your backstories. And so this one is nice if perhaps you're starting to teach a unit and you want an intro video, or you want something for directions that's catchy. We've used it a couple of times now with escape rooms. And so with this, once you log in or create an account, it'll say, give me a topic, premise, and detail instructions in any language. You'll also notice there are some things at the bottom that allow you to create a short video, make an explanation video, an animated film, or use my own script. So you can click on any of these, But really, you can also do the same thing just by copying and pasting whatever you want into this box and hitting generate a video. So I might say, create a promo video for an escape room about a mad scientist who has left puzzles to solve throughout his, or we'll say her, science lab. Make it fun and engaging for students and include a countdown of 90 minutes. Something like that. I'll hit generate video. And as it's taking just a few minutes, because this one does take a little bit of time as well, this again was called InVideo AI. And so it's an AI that allows you to use prompts to create a video. Is there a cost? So like with a lot of other tools, this one is freemium. So you can use stock images and basically create the most basic of videos for free. As you start moving into wanting to have videos without like the stock label and things like that, there is a cost. But it's pretty good for just the basics and then having a little watermark and some stock media. And so while this is going, just because, like I said, it takes a little bit of time. And so Pam can always jump into something too, and then I can come back to it. But once you start to see this, it's going to go through and it's going to have a little promo for me. It'll make it pretty short by default. You can change it to be a little bit longer. But with that, you'll have the promo and then it will allow you to edit. And so if you don't like the pictures that it uses, you can look through the stock library and you can change the pictures. You can also go ahead and change the script. So you can take it from like their script, but then say, I want to add this in, I want to change this. You can change the voices, you can add in new voices. So there are a lot of options and customization. So the nicest part of this, I think, is that it gets you the base of a video and then you can make changes from there. And I see a question. It says, can videos generated with this be used on social media? Ooh, I don't know. Does it require permission to use on social media? Yep. Thank you, Pam.
That's from their website.
Thank you.
So I put the 3 apps that Carrie just showed in the chat. And what I think we have time for is to give you about, I'm going to say 4 or 5 minutes. I'll set my timer. We do 5 minutes, we'll be fine because I only have 2 apps that I'm showing. And give you just a chance to get a little hands-on with them. So I'll set my timer for 5 minutes. If it's something like where you want to get up and go get a drink instead, you're welcome to do that. I know some people are at home and cooking sometimes when they watch our webinars. So I'm going to set it, let's make it 5 minutes, give you some time to kind of go in and either set up an account there if you'd like to, or try one of those on. And then we'll come back and I'll show you the next 2 apps and we'll continue. So
Pam, can I just interject for 1 minute before they get started? So it just loaded. And so basically you would have to put stock media if you want it to be free. You can adjust the duration, the look and feel. So I want it to be dramatic, and then where you plan on using it. And as long as you have stock media selected, it'll allow you to continue. And then once it continues, and this will take another couple of minutes as well. So this would be a perfect time for you all to break and do what Pam said. But once you do that, then it like takes the time to actually produce your video for you. And from here, this is where you then have the ability to go back in and change things, which if we have time, I can show you that as well. But I just wanted to show you how you select the options before you break into the 5 minutes for being able to try these out.
Okay. And then what I'll say is if you need help, go ahead and put it in the chat, but we'll try and keep our audio off so that people can kind of work and not have to find us. Okay, so I've got my timer set, 5 minutes. I'll come back right before it's about to go off. And so that'll give you a little heads up that it's coming. And yes, we are recording. There we go. All right, thank you. I hope you had a chance to either just kind of look around on the apps. I see that there's a few chats going on in the background here. So we got an answer about blurring out the scribe images. Cool. And then Carrie, there was another question on, oh, and I think she said she figured it out, but I'll ask anyway. How do you go about saving the videos once you have created them?
Perfect. Let me just share my screen again and we will showcase that and then quickly how to edit as well, if that's okay with you, Pam.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Yeah, we're doing okay for time.
Okay, great. So here, you'll notice that this is going to be my video. A lot of times it will have things that, you know, the first round, maybe you don't like it so much. So I can go in, I can edit. And from here, if I want to edit a picture, like I think I want it to focus more on science rather than the children in the picture, I can go to stock media or upload my own media, which is nice. And I can type in lab equipment and then just do a search and replace for any of their stock media. So then I hit apply and I hit save changes. That's how you would adjust the pictures. If you want to adjust the music, you can go in and upload your own music or find stock music. You can upload the scripts or change the script, so you can just type into things and add it. You'll also notice that it has this speaker, and you might have options to change speakers, but if you don't, you can go into the settings and then you can add in new characters. And so you can hit this plus sign and start to say what you want. And then you can really like get into like, I want this to sound like an Australian who is super excited and things like that. So you can adjust the voices and then adjust your script accordingly. And when you're done with all of your changes, you hit save changes. And I don't think I did anything, so let's see. Then when you're ready, you can hit the download. And if you hit no watermarks, then you need to upgrade. But if you go to stock watermarks, then you can go to normal because these two are upgraded and you can adjust the resolution you want. I've usually done the 720, but you can do whatever you want. And then you hit continue. And from here, it takes a little bit of time. And once you do that, then you have the downloaded copy. And that also saves within your home in InVideo, so you can access it here as well as your downloads. And so as this is working, that would be how you download. Pam, did I miss any other questions?
I don't
You'll
think so.
notice mine downloaded right there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep. All right, I'll
I'll
take
turn it over to Pam then.
All right. So I wanted to show two apps to you that I've been kind of playing around with lately that I really like. The first one is one that I've seen before, but I've kind of been looking at it again lately. And I'm just going to apologize right now. I've got 3 screens going, so I'm going to look like I'm staring off into the horizon a little bit off to the side because I'm looking at my screen, which is over there. This app is called Diffit, and I'm not sure if I'm right about this or not, but it makes sense. I believe diff part of it is for differentiation. If not, well, it certainly works for that. So the app, in just a second, I'll click over to it. If you want to get there and you have the slide deck already, I just put the bit.ly to the slide deck in the chat, but you'll also see it up here. And Carrie, if you want to add the link at any time, we've had a few new people join. It's also linked here on the image. So if you ever come back here and you can't find it, you just click on the image of the words and you'll get there. But what Diffit allows you to do is what I have written here, it quickly adapts websites, articles, videos, anything like that, and generates questions, pulls out the vocabulary, and it will do all of that quickly. And then you can choose different interactive, and I don't want to use the word worksheet lightly because I know worksheets are not the end all be all, and sometimes they're even not great words that we like to use in education anymore. But these are what I would call more graphic organizers. Sometimes they are worksheets. So where I see that might be helpful is I remember the days of spending, 10 hours practically to create lesson plans for a day. So that I can see it being something where you could quickly print out something for a lesson plan if it's an emergency and you need to be out of school the next day on any topic, really any topic that you like. So if you go to DFID and you click on it, you'll come to a page like this, and you can go to where it says teachers start here. You'll set up an account, and it allows you to use Microsoft or Google or just put in an email, however you would like to get yourself in there. Oh, one thing I wanted to make sure I did point out is I gave you the information here. It is freemium. And you can see that there's always the freemium account. That's not just like a limited tryout, but then they do have the premium account, and you can see what the differences are between what you can do and what you can't do. If you want to know more about that, you can click here to find out pricing and that kind of thing. It gives you a 60-day free trial. I have to tell you, I am still in the free trial window, so keep that in mind. Although I think if you look at what it allows you to do, there are not a whole lot of things that you're restricted from doing. It's this kind of sharing quickly into Google documents and things that would be restricted. So you probably would be copying and pasting more than if you had their account. But literally anything. So if I came in here and I wanted to put in the topic of habitats, I could. I'm just going to say habitats in general for time considerations right now, but I can go down below and I can add in different standards. So I could search through the science standards, choosing which state I'm in, choosing which grade level I want. I have no idea if 7th grade does habitats or not, but once I look and I can find the habitats that I would want, I'm going to pretend like that one is it. You can add those in. Oh, click over here. Unless that's a premium feature, which I don't think so. Sorry, it's not working for me right now. Oh, it's only available with premium. Ah, I thought I had my trial still. I guess maybe I just ran into where I don't. Okay, you can add those in if you have the free account. You can change the grade levels. And I'll change this too. You can change the language on the text. So if you have students and you want to go through, print out the English ones and turn right around and print something out in a different language for students, you can on the same topic. Types of reading, you have informational text or fictional text, which makes me think in social studies, when it came to reading history and learning history, the way that I learned it was through fictional texts. I would always go out and find a book like James Michener's Centennial when I had to learn about American history, and that was great for me. So if you want that differentiation between informational and fictional, you could even combine the two, and that would be an interesting way of looking at it. So literally anything, it'll start to just generate resources for me. That's one option, and you can see just like with Carrie, it takes a minute here. And you can see it has pulled up an image for me on habitats. I can translate it immediately right here. I can print it. If I had the premium, I know I could sign into Google and I could just dump it right into any type of Google slide deck, you name it. You've got all these choices. You have an adapted reading passage here. You're allowed to adjust the length of it. I have to sign in. I never signed in with my Google account. Sorry about that. I thought I did. Okay, let's just go ahead and sign in. I do have the premium still. All right, here we go. So you can come in here and you can immediately adjust the length. So if you want it to be a longer read, a shorter read, or something like that, you just click on the one that you want. We'll make it longer. Generate. It's going to add in that extra amount that I was looking for. You can show your sources, which was another thing that I really liked about this, because we know that just because it's on the internet and it's pulling from it, that doesn't mean it's pulling from real scientific sources. So you might come in here and say, Wikipedia, maybe not. San Diego Zoo is pretty trustworthy. You've got the Smithsonian, you've got PBS, and those are things I'm willing to go with, but let me take out the Wikipedia one and I can regenerate. And so it will make my text over again. And again, here I'm able to copy it, paste it into anything that I want if I don't have the premium account, or just immediately put it into something else if I do. It gives you a summary of that text. It pulls out key vocabulary words. You have the ability to edit that and add in your own words as well. And the other feature I liked, if you go to add images, you like survive might be hard to pull in an image for that, but what it does is it allows you to search basically Google and find images, or you can upload your own image if you have something that you want to use, but then you have those as a feature together. It comes up with multiple choice questions, and again, you can edit, keep them, take them out, make them longer, add questions, short answer questions, and open-ended prompts. And then it has a sort of magic button where you could create all of the different activities that it has, and then you can choose from them. Or on the side over here, you have the ability to kind of choose from the student activities. And these are what they look like. So if you're really looking for something that allows students to collaborate, maybe you put in an article and now the next thing you want them to do, read it, and with a partner, they're going to do some kind of discussion around it. You have the ability to just click on the type that you want. And you can see you have it here. It's sort of filling in all that information for me. And you can go in, and what we always like to say is kind of the 80-20 rule here. 80% let it do the heavy lifting for you, but 20% has to be you going in, checking these things and making sure that they make sense for you, for your students, for the type of rigor that you want them to have. But this was an app that I liked because it does give you that ability to go in and do something quickly. Diffit also has the ability to go to the web. So you can go to an article or you can go to YouTube if you don't want it to just generate it. So I have some open up already over here. So I'm just going to come in here. I can click on a YouTube video. Let's say I wanted to do habitats again, and I watched this all the way through and I really love it. I can click on that link and bring it just right into Diffit. Paste. It can preserve the original text. Again, if you have the premium version or if you're signed in, maybe you can go in and check the standards. And now I will be able to click on them because I'm signed in. You can change the reading levels, change the language, generate the resource. So it's going to generate the exact same page as you just saw it generate from AI, only it's going to use this video as its resource. So again, you can see I have this in here and all of the different resources and still the ability to click on any of these types of activities that I want. And the final one in there that was interesting is you can bring in your own text and PDFs. So if you already have articles and you want to use those articles, you can just bring them in and drop them in. And it's pretty quick. And I think that's the thing that I liked about it the best. I want to show you the next one, and then I'm going to give you another small amount of time. But before I move on, I'm going to just stop for about 30 seconds or so, let you incubate on that and ask if there's any questions, because I'm not seeing any in the chat right now. Or thoughts where this might come in handy for you, that kind of thing. Feel free to unmute if you would like to share. That is a good question about math. I think that could be something that we get in there and we play with in just a few minutes. I don't have an answer for you on that one. If anyone else does, feel free to open up and talk to us, because right now I see they have, I guess if you're talking about something, but they have ELA, history, and science are the only things I'm really seeing right here. Thank you. Yes, the graphic organizers, they have a lot to choose from. Like I said, I think you can find what works for you. Research
Hello.
lesson. Go ahead. Yes.
Hi, I'm Guadalupe. I just used the Diffit for just like the next topic that I'm gonna cover, and it gave me like a reading. I can associate it with the next generation standard. It gave me some like a summary also. It gave me some key vocabularies. It gave me some questions also.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting, even like short, multiple choice, short answer questions, open-ended prompts. I mean, I still have to check them, but it's very interesting that it can give you a bunch of stuff so far.
Yeah, and it can change the reading level on that. So you keep the same content, but if you know that you need to differentiate for students, who are needing different grade levels of reading, but you want them all to have that same ability to have a conversation around it after they read. That, that interaction where we always say where the technology can't do it, where the technology isn't necessarily going to drive those conversations that students have, but the technology can help to have them all sort of on the same page, so to speak, so that they can have the conversations and then they can use the vocabulary that they're learning within those conversations, right? So the reading can grow while the content level is growing as well.
Yeah. No, thank you for sharing these resources. I also use the one for the video.
Mhm.
And I just created like a short video, as a practice for waves also. And it's interesting, that it goes really fast.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to
Thank you.
move on. I am looking at our time. It's 4:52. So I'm going to go to QuestionWell right now, which was another app that I wanted to show you. It's actually very similar to Diffit. It will create questions for you. And if you log into it, you'll see that it looks an awful lot like Diffit did as well. If you ask me what the differences are, what I like about QuestionWell that Diffit did not do was if you know what EdSource is, it takes a video and it will ask questions and it will pause the video for you in certain places and insert those questions. So again, I'm just going to talk about habitats. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. I'll bring this one down to a 4th grade level. It's going to be in English, but I can change any of the questions I want. It will not change the language in the video based on, and here's where I would go in and say YouTube. And again, it does the exact same thing otherwise that Diffit really did. It does not have the graphic organizers though, but it will bring up questions of vocabulary and things like that. This takes a moment. So while it's doing this, I'll kind of show you. What's weird is you're thinking you might have a video here. It just went through and it took out all the content and language from that video, what the video is actually saying. I can save that. And then I can align it to learning outcomes and standards was just the generic thing. But if I say generate questions, it's going to think about it for a little while because it is going through now and marking the different parts of the video. But I see, Ken, you put something in the chat that says, I think that Diffit has some organizers. Yes, it aligns with different groups that are out there that have wonderful graphic organizers and things out there online. So this also, if you have Canvas or any other of the LMSs, as you can see, it will a lot of times just upload directly into it, which is also nice. So with QuestionWell, you can see again, I have, in case I need it, I like this because it's a bit of an accessibility issue. You can print out the transcript that comes with it if your students want to follow along or look back at it later. That's available in YouTube, but it's just right here for you, kind of a one-stop shop. It shows you in the video up here, which you can see these little teardrops are where it will stop and ask questions, what the answers are to those little teardrop areas. You can see the questions right up here. So it has the learning outcomes that it wrote down. And again, you could put yours in there. You can show more here. It has comprehension questions, sort of open-ended discussion questions, and it pulls out the vocabulary for you. For this, you can export the questions here and it saves it as a file. Then when you are creating a Google form and you click on the questions, you can import questions. So you have the ability to quickly bring those into a Google form. It doesn't look like it does it directly for you, but in that indirect way, just export the questions. You can select all, it will save that. And then you can use that just to quickly go into a Google form for you. If you click on the video, you can see here that it's now stopping that video where I want it. And then you have the ability to, I think it's down here, here it is. You can send it as an assignment to your students. So this was one that I saved. Oops, I didn't save that one yet. Rats, I just did it, but I didn't save it. So let me go into one. Here we go. There we go. If I had saved it, it would show up in my assignments over here. You can see I have this one, the American Soldier. I was sort of playing around with that. If I click on that, it's going to give me a code that I can then give to my students. So I can get my students to this video with the question well put into it. So I'm just going to go ahead and give myself a nickname. And now I can play the video and the questions will pop up.
June
Um,
1776.
I think
The
they,
first
for this
ever version
particular
of the
video, I'm
United
just
States
go ahead and stop it because they take a while to pop in. But the question, you assign it, your students have the questions, they can answer them. And then it's just right there for you. So that was sort of the interesting thing about DFIT. And I am noticing we're short on time. Does anyone have any other questions about this one? What I did, I'm going to stop and wait for a second. I'm always ready to move on. Any questions that we can answer? This one as well is free. Okay. Thumbs up if you're okay with me moving on. Thank you. Kind of looking through the list here. All right. Yeah, for the last one, and I just realized I did not put one in here for you. I put in a video that you could do. It's just a quick recap that would help you for your convenience. I'll go ahead and throw one in here after tonight so that if you come back to it later and you're like, what was that thing she was showing? You'll be able to find it quite easily. You can see that these can export to Kahoot, Quizzes, and Canvas, and a whole bunch of other LMSs, which is kind of a nice feature for it. All right. So the other things we wanted to show you, and I guess Carrie will have to do this pretty quickly, is if you're having conversations with just like a ChatGPT or something like that, or you're wanting to get the best kind of information out of it, there is this ACDQ kind of idea where you tell the chat in that little area where you input anything. You can say, hey, I want you to act as an expert in the field. So I want you to act as a scientist. You give it the context. I'm looking for multiple choice questions on habitats for my 7th grade students. And I want you to think deeply before you post. And what that does is it makes the LLM or the large language model go through all of its information before it starts generating. Otherwise, it will generate at the same time as it's actually going through the information. And sometimes you just get better results if you tell it to either think before you post or think deeply about it. And then there's the Q, which is you can always ask it to ask you questions. Say, hey, ask me questions one at a time to get more clarity around what I want. And then it will go through and ask you questions. So, Carrie, can you explain the query suggestions for AI real quick?
Yeah, and I won't focus on all of them. You do have a link to this in your slideshow, but some of the ones that are really helpful are typing in things like trusted sources if you want to get more of the vetted, trusted results. Another one that's really helpful is just specifying your length, the tone, and potentially the Lexile level or who your audience is. Really, the more specific you are with your queries and your prompts, the more the information that you get back is going to be tailored to what you're looking for. And if you don't get it right the first time, you can continue to prompt the AI with the things that it's given you. So you can say something like, I like this, but please make it more interesting, or please give it a jovial tone. So really just thinking about some of those things, as well as, of course, things like avoiding putting in personal identifiable information for people or for your students. So really thinking about how you can take the most specific information you want without actually utilizing ones that directly correlate with your students' information. So just avoiding their names, things like that, avoiding any kind of things that would be sensitive. And of course, if you have any questions about these, you can always read through them and try them out, or get back to us and ask us questions as well. And for the sake of time, I will just briefly ask Pam to go into the next slide. This one is our menu of productivity tools updated just a couple of days ago. We always try to keep this pretty updated. So these are just some tools that in about November of last year, we put together a comprehensive list of as many tools for teacher productivity as we could think of. We tested them out. We used specific prompts for each one and tried to go through and rate them based on how we felt they did the task at hand that teachers might want to do. And so we put on here ones that were free or freemium that were able to do different types of things. And over time, we've been adding into that menu. So if you want to just see a bunch of different tools that can do a lot of different things, so you have options to play around with, here is a good list to get started on. And of course, it's always changing and there are always more to explore, but this can get you started.
Yeah, and the image itself is a link. So if you click on this image, you'll get there.
And there is one on this menu called There's an AI for that. If you want to just figure out which AI is the best AI for what you're looking to do, there's an AI for that. And you can use that to help you find the correct AI tool you're looking for. So while it takes time to go through this list, it also saves a lot of time to use the AIs in this list. So yeah, it's just a good resource for you.
And then I'm looking at the time, so I will take 1 minute for this, and I think we'll wrap it up at that point. If you click on this image as well, it takes you to a PDF that we had. And Carrie, you can let them know. I'm not sure exactly where you found this, but what we did like about it was that it gives you a listing of this group's Learn21's thoughts on apps and which ones, where the privacy policies when this was created, were maybe not as clear as they could be. So it gives you good information, like if there's targeted ads or if you have personally identifiable information that it's asking for, you probably put that in your scary zone. I know this came out during Halloween, but Goodreads, it goes into what can be iffy about that. So some of them are AI and some of them are not, but we thought that this was a good thing to kind of give you some information. We have a lot of people asking us about that. Our number one thing we always say, and I know I put it in the chat just a second ago, is to please always ask your district for what their preferences are. We can show you things, but we can't always guarantee that it is something that your district is going to give you the green light on. So always, if you're going to use stuff, especially with students, get some feedback from your district on whether it's allowed or not. And if it's not open in Chrome, especially with Chrome extensions and things like that, you can pretty much assume that it's not something that they're wanting you to use. And they usually have some kind of a protocol for requesting that they be open. So you can look into that. But this gives you a good starting point just for thinking around the types of things that you might steer clear from or be asking more questions about. And that leaves us to the very end, which is where we basically just say thank you so much for coming. We want you to remember that we're a resource for you. If you have questions or if, you're always welcome to email any of us. You can find our emails on our webpage, which is simply sdcoe.net/edtech. If you go to the SDCOE website, it's not a long search to find the EdTech department as it is, but we answer emails. You can always contact us for, quick information or things if you're looking for where to find more information. If you'd be so kind, we know that you have the slide deck at some point to give us some professional feedback on this. It leads you to a general form and just asks for your information anonymously, basically. So if I clear the form, you can see there's just a few questions. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. We appreciate